Once again, the opponent doesn't build to the sludge wave we are calling the acid spray bait, and that's exactly what they do. They might think they're a master baiter, but master baiting is a waste of your time. We go straight for the nuke. Get wrecked, Muck. So let's get into today's video. In today's video, we are looking at a pair of big thick boys, Shadow Snorlax and Shadow Hariyama. Fighters are a bit hit and miss in this meta. There's plenty of targets for counter. However, the big legendaries like Cresselia and Giratina pretty much wall this thing. Hariyama has a pretty unique moveset. It isn't the best, but close combat has an absolute nuke potential, and Heavy Slam does provide some nice coverage for them fairies. So without any further ado, let's jump straight into it. We've basically got one anti-steal in the lead and two tanks in the back with Snorlax and Walrein as pretty much an ABB team. And in game one, we pick up an absolutely dreadful lead. Against Giratina, we save switch into Snorlax, and here comes Swampert. This is not fantastic for us. Snorlax will lose this in the Ultra League. We do win it in the Master League Premier Classic. You can see that Hydro Cannon gets us into the yellow. The next one will be threatening the knockout. We go for the Body Slam and we draw a shield from the opponent. I am somewhat of a Snorlax connoisseur, so I know we will tank it. We'll be left deep into the red, and we are now going straight for the superpower. Superpower does do more damage, and they're going to farm me down anyway. Superpower draws the opponent's second shield. So, despite us losing switch, we have got a 2-shield advantage. We are going to come back in with Hariyama. We will have to sink one move, however, the opponent gets super greedy, and we are going to go straight for the close combat. This is going to nuke Swampert, get fucking wrecked, and we are spamming out the Walrus. Can Walrus up shields clean up this battle? In the back, they've got a Cresselia. If Cresselia is on Grass Knot, this could be somewhat problematic. The opponent throws after 6, so they are on Grass Knot. We have still got 2 shields, so I shield the first one, and then I'm going to start spamming out these Icicle Spheres. Icicle Sphere is a really good move. It's a Body Slam clone. Effectively, what Weather Ball was before it was nerfed. That tells you how broken the move is. And Cresselia is still in the green. You hate to see it. I've used my final shield here. This next Icicle Sphere should be getting Cresselia into the yellow. And here is the big brain play. The next Icicle Sphere will not knock out, so I overfarm, go straight for the Earthquake. This should be knocking out the Cresselia. Get fucking wrecked. Back out comes the Giratina. I'm going to fire off one Icicle Sphere, and I'm going to look to catch the next charge move on my Hariyama. So are we successful? I'm spamming out Hariyama, and it's a CMP tie. We're going to have to tank the charge move on the Walrus. Dragon Claw, and then we come into Hariyama. Giratina is super low. We have got quite a lot of HP. We are going to tank absolutely any move. The opponent throws the Dragon Claw. They've got one more Dragon Claw, and Hariyama should stand strong. Hariyama tanks it on its huge, big, fat body, and we go straight for this double resisted close combat, but Giratina has hardly any HP, and that's all she wrote. GG's, and thanks for playing. Moving on into the next battle is Shadow Hariyama into Swampert. This is a pretty neutral matchup, however, I'm going to counter 5, look to catch the Hydro Cannon on my Walrus, and the opponent simultaneously swaps into Cresselia. They throw after 6, so once again, they are on Grass Knot. This does huge damage to our Walrus, and like we've seen, Icicle Sphere doesn't do too much. I throw the first. Cresselia will tank this fairly easily. I'm counting fast moves. I'm looking to get to the Earthquake. I'm unsuccessful, however, I am looking to CMP tie the Cresselia, maximising the amount of farm I can get on my Snorlax. We successfully CMP tie Cresselia, and I'm just going to let the Walrus go, and it is time to come in with the big thick boy number 2, big Shadow Snorlax, and commit to the very aggressive lick farm down. We are going to have to tank any one move, but we've seen they're on Grass Knot, so it's highly unlikely they have Future Sight. The opponent throws a Moonblast with non-stab, and Snorlax tanks that fairly easily. We go for the lick farm down, and now we are absolutely loaded. Back out comes Swampert. I don't know what they've got in the back, so I'm going to commit a shield on the Snorlax, and we are going to start unleashing Body Slams. Body Slam with stab from Snorlax hits fairly hard. The opponent shields the first. I go straight for Body Slam number 2. This should do some nice chip damage to the Swampert. The opponent lets it go. I come back in to Hariyama. The opponent switches out into Giratina. Once again, it looks like we are getting pretty hard counter in the back, but Hariyama has Heavy Slam, and that does a reasonable chunk to the bulky Giratina. We go straight for Heavy Slam number 2, and this gets Giratina down into the yellow, and we do successfully throw on a CMP. Giratina throws the Dragon Claw. It does not KO, however, as they're on Dragon Breath, we are going to get farmed down. The win condition here is going to be to tank all of this energy and save a shield for that Hydro Cannon that the Swampert has. The fact that on Dragon Breath does mean the fast moves are really adding up, but they are really slow. 2 charge moves, we farm down, we're getting quite low on HP. Swampert comes back in. They are not at the back-to-back. We shield this up. We're now 1 lick away, or 2 licks away. We throw the 2 licks. Body slam. Number 1 is going to be drawing the shield from Swampert, and guess what, motherfucker? Eat body slam. Number 2, and for the second game in a row, despite not having alignment, we managed to pull off the dub. GG's, and thanks for playing. I didn't use Snorlax whatsoever last season in Ultra. My God, have I missed this big, thick boy, as he's a monster. Moving on into battle number 3. Once again, dreadful alignment. We look to catch the move on our Snorlax, and we are successful. I believe they threw after 6. This is just a grass knot. Snorlax tanks that on the chin, and they come in to Drapion. So pretty rough lead, pretty rough switch. The opponent throws a crunch. We're really hoping for no defense drop, and look at that. We get the defense drop. Holy crap, this set is rough. We go for a body slam. Body slam should do some nice chip damage to the Drapion, and it is actually a nice shiny Drapion at that. This next charge move is absolutely going to take us out. We can now come in with Hariyama and look to commit to the counter farm down. Hopefully the opponent isn't on Sludge Bomb. We will find out. I believe this is just an Aqua Tail. Either way, we are going to have to tank this energy because we're going to need to save shields for our Walrus. The opponent switches out into Cresselia, and we bring back in the Walrus. We are going to tank this first charge move. The opponent goes for a grass knot, and you can see that it does massive damage. We are now going to start unleashing Icicle Spheres, and we are really going to have to start shielding something up. I have no idea how we're going to win this battle, but we will go on. We are going to shield this next grass knot as it would knock out. We are pretty loaded on energy. I'm going to start unleashing another Icicle Sphere, hoping to draw a shield from the opponent. They've still got 2, and we are looking in a rough spot. The opponent lets it go, and we're going to go straight for the next Icicle Sphere. This will knock out or draw a shield. The opponent lets it go, and let's see what they have in the back. In the back is a Talonflame. The opponent switched out into Drapion. I needed to Powder Snow down. I really didn't want to have to shield an Aqua Tail, but I think this game is absolutely fucked. They come into Hariyama. We are going to go for a close combat just for science, because this is an absolute loss. The opponent shields the first, so I am going to throw another close combat. This one should land. I really want to see how much damage it does. Despite being resisted, it done huge damage, and the opponent is going to be able to win CMP, and we lose that battle. I could have come in to Hariyama to catch the Aqua Tail, but either way, we would have just got farmed down by the Talonflame, so we were looking pretty fucked. Moving on into the next battle, we pick up a Dream Lead. Hariyama into Melmetal, they say switch into a Charmer, so we bring in the big thick boy Snorlax. We are going to shield up the Psyshock. I really do want to maintain the correct alignment. We shield it up, and we are going to start unleashing Body Slam. Snorlax is fast spammier, then Sylvie on the first Body Slam draws the shield. We are going to start unloading yet more Body Slams. This next Body Slam will get the Sylveon into the red. The opponent lets it go, and now we can commit to the lick farm down, and we've got a superpower good to go. In comes Melmetal, and they're about to eat superpower. The small tin can. Reggie Steele's mini brother gets put into the yellow. We get Thundershock down. We come in to Hariyama. We can tank any charge move. The opponent will go for a superpower, but Hariyama will stand strong. We soak the charge move. We simultaneously swap. It's Kingdra in the back. Due to their water dragon typing, this ice type damage is neutral, and we are just going to be spamming out Icicle Spheres. The first one gets them into the yellow. We're already at Icicle Sphere number 2. The opponent should be pressured to shield, and they do shield up, and at this stage I am just going to let it go. If the opponent goes for an Octazooka, it's game over. The opponent goes for an Outrage, it lands for big damage. We're going to have to come in with Hariyama. The opponent's switch timer isn't up. We go straight for this close combat. This is going to be more than enough to take care of Kingdra. Our defense is lowered. The Melmetal is super low, and despite our lowered defense, Hariyama counters down, and we take that game. GG's, and thanks for playing. Moving on into the final battle of the video, we lead Shadow Hariyama into Alolan Muck. Due to their poison, dark typing, we are hitting them for neutral with our counters. The opponent throws after 4. It is just an acid spray. We tank that on the chin, and we are going to continue to farm up. The opponent once again only builds up to the acid spray. The opponent is somewhat of a master baiter. However, Mr. Opponent, we do not waste time masturbating. We're going straight for the kill shot. Close combat lands. Get fucking wrecked, Muck. We have lowered our defense, so we switch out into Snorlax, and it is Venusaur. So we've got a pretty good matchup here with the Walrus. The opponent is staying in. They throw a Frenzy Plant. It does huge damage to Snorlax. We are going to start unleashing Body Slams. Venusaur is quite squishy, even in the Ultra League. Body Slam lands, and it gets Venusaur down into the yellow. The opponent throws yet another Frenzy Plant. I am just going to allow Snorlax to go down. I am going to come in now with the Walrus and look to commit to the Powder Snow farm down. The opponent still is staying in. They finally switch out into a Walrus of their own. And you already know on this channel, no baits. Did the opponent learn their lesson from the opening matchup? They did not. Earthquake lands for huge damage. I've got no intentions of shielding this charge move up, and the opponent still is master baiting like an absolute noob. We now come in to Hariyama. We sneak a counter. I am going to shield up this Icicle Sphere. We're already at a charge move. Heavy Slam is neutral, and this should be more than enough to take care of the Walrus. The opponent lets it go, and Venusaur is going to get resisted, countered down. And the moral of the story is, guys, to be good at PvP, you do not want to be the master baiter. So those were the battles with Shadow Hariyama. That was actually the only set I played. We went 4-1, a pretty fun team, but I'm not going to lie, Hariyama's really RPS, and his moveset is super difficult to use. The Big Stab close combat is a nuke, but it does lower your defense by 2 stage, and Heavy Slam, although it does provide nice coverage, is pretty garbage. As you already know, both Walrus and Lax are absolute monsters. Couldn't recommend them two highly enough. Hariyama is a fun pick, but don't go out of your way to build one. It's a bit of a waste of resources. So if you're enjoying the content, smash that like button. If you're new, consider subscribing. If you like your Triple Shadow battles featured on the channel, link to the battle submission form is down below. I'd just like to say thanks for watching, and I will see you all in the next one.